Hey, I'm Doug. Welcome to Backcountry Pilgrim, a channel all about hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Today I'm looking at a camping tent, specifically a pop-up tent made by Outdoor Master. Now, to be perfectly honest, I was a bit skeptical. Outdoor Master reached out to me to do a tent review, and when I checked out their company, it looked like they were more into the water and snow sport industry. They had ski gear, they had sup boards, and cool e-pumps and things like that. But they also had a gear category on their website called Beach. And in the beach section, they had those half tent kinds of things. I've reviewed one like that before. But then they also had the camp tent, which is what they asked me to review. Now, there were things that made me interested in this tent. One of them is that it is fairly big, and the other thing was that it is a pop-up tent, which means that I, or hopefully my kids, should be able to set the tent up fairly easily and quickly, as well as break it down without a lot of frustration. The other thing that I liked about this tent was the price. For the 4-person version, it's only $129. The 6-person version of the tent is $50 more and gives you about an extra foot in every dimension. Now, the tent boasts several other features. One of them is dark space technology, which I personally really like. Dark space technology basically just means that the interior of the tent is completely blacked out. Nobody can see through it, and it makes a nice, cool, dark space for you if you happen to be in direct sunlight. This Outdoor Master camp tent also has very large ventilated windows. You can roll away the dark space part of the tent. You've got plenty to see out through its mesh, and you can unzip the mesh and put it away as well. Now, I got the 4-person tent. I thought this might be great for the kids. They could have a tent of their own, and I decided to check it out. So, as I always do with new tents, I wanted to try to set it up without any instructions, sight unseen, no review videos or nothing, and see just how easy it is, see if it made sense, and I want to be sure to be able to set the tent up quickly in a camping situation. The tent comes in a convenient stuff sack that actually holds the tent quite easily. It's not one of these stuff sacks that once you open it and remove the material, you can't get everything back in. The tent comes with a separated rainfly, which is one of the easiest to install that I have ever seen. It comes with a set of stainless steel shepherd hook type tent stakes and some nice bright orange paracord for doing tie-outs. If you've ever used this kind of pop-up tent technology before, the tent itself should not hold any major surprises. There is essentially a main pole hub in the middle, and once you have spread out the 4 corner tent poles, you simply lift it straight up, and the tent basically assembles itself. There are attachment points at the corners of the tent, and although they can be released, they came inserted right out of the box. Now, once the tent has kind of taken shape, you basically just need to make sure that the poles are locked in place. You simply press a little lever, pull on the tent pole, and it snaps in place. I did have some trouble with 2 of these because the material attachment had ridden up pretty high on the pole, and I didn't realize that it was not in the correct position. The lock actually needs to be below the material, and once it is, there's no problem at all. Once the tent is locked in position, it becomes your basic freestanding tent and can be picked up and moved around at will. The tent is actually quite voluminous without the tie-outs, but everything you need is included, and it just makes the tent that much bigger. Every side of the tent has a major opening. 3 big windows, and 1 big door. Each of these has a dark technology flap to make the interior of the tent a virtual blackout, and each of them can be rolled away to expose see-through mesh, or the mesh itself can be rolled away as well. The interior of the tent is, as expected, quite large. When I am sitting in the middle, my arms barely touch the sides, and that's prior to attaching any tie-out points. And while I cannot stand up in the tent, I can't even come close to reaching the ceiling. The interior is nice and basic. There are 2 pouches attached to the side for things like cell phones or keys, and there is also a hook in the top for hanging a lantern or some other device. Good quality 2-way zippers allow access to the windows and the door, as well as Velcro flaps on the outside to help with waterproofing. Now, another thing that I really liked about the Outdoor Master tent is that it is completely seam sealed, and that includes the floor of the tent, the side zippers, and the entire rainfly. Now, I cannot speak to how storm-proof this tent is, but having looked at the tent, I think that if you're not in a complete rainstorm, it's going to do a solid job of keeping the water out. The rainfly is extremely easy to attach. You just throw it over the top and then use the little hooks that come off of each corner to attach to the middle attachment point of each pole. It's very easy and you really can't make a mistake unless you're concerned about brand recognition, in which case you would want the Outdoor Master logo to be over the front. The floor of the tent is a bathtub style and goes up several inches from the ground, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about groundwater. And although you have a nice vertical view out of the tent for stargazing, with the rainfly attached, the tent should keep you nice and dry. Breaking the tent down is even easier than setting it up. You simply unclip the rainfly, grab the central pole hub, and squeeze the poles together. This will collapse the tent, and with the poles unlocked, the whole thing simply folds together as you push down on it. You then roll it up and put it away. Now, I would say this is definitely a car camping tent. For the heavy-duty materials and the pop-up technology, this tent weighs in at a hefty 11 pounds. That's all in, package weight. You could probably knock half a pound or so off if you carried just the tent, but really what's the point? You're not going to be backpacking with this. If you're interested in picking up the Outdoor Master camp tent, I would appreciate it if you use the link below. That helps the channel out with no extra cost to you. I hope this video has been informative. Give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Till next time, I'm Doug. This is Backcountry Pilgrim. Thanks for watching.